All right, welcome back to this part 2 of this mini series on this epic gas conversion, which is a fancy way of saying basic installation of basic gas components. Anyway, we are going to be focusing mostly on the radio box today. I probably spent a little bit too much time on that, so check it out. Thanks. Alright, so we are installing the radio box. I've marked 2 holes, and I've drilled those on the radio box itself. I've marked 2 holes on the stringer, and then I've got a 3-inch fastener that I'm going to pipe through this side of the radio box to the other side of the stringer. And I did steal this idea. I think it was actually from Dark Wolf. But I've got a sleeve here, and so I'm going to cut that to length, and that's going to be able to create compression on this side while also supporting it. Rather than just pulling it, it'll actually squeeze it. I think it'll squeeze it in and it'll just support it better. Great idea. So I'm gonna mimic that. All right, I forgot to hit record. So I have the first one in, and I'm taking my angle finder. I've marked the second one, but because I can't, even with my 90-degree drill adapter, I can't fit it in with the tray on, and so I'm just looking for the angle. There's a little bit of variance there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find some sort of grommet, and I'm going to put around this interface just to waterproof this a little bit more. Alright, so let's look for the next. Alright, how's that look? There's enough movement here, I can definitely level this out. Oh yeah, less than a degree. So there you go. Okay, now if you have a keen sense of visibility here, you can see that my 2 fasteners are different lengths, and I went to the hardware store and thought I was getting the same one. I guess I got a quantity of 2 separate times.
Idiot!
So we will have to fix that. Alright, now we can find this location, the location on the radio box for this fastener and the stringer. So what I'm going to do is take a measurement of the, call it XY axis of, well, I really want to get the Z axis, so how far down from the top of the stringer each of these fasteners are. I'm going to replicate that on this side. Alright, this is my little 4-pack of what's called Brad point bits. They are there's a 90-degree bevel. There's no bevel, so it's a 90-degree corner on the edges versus, you know, your standard drill bit. And so this is great for cutting precise holes through either the stingers or through fiberglass, and it helps cut. I always run it reverse. If I'm going through glass, I'm cutting it in reverse to score, and then I'm switching and breaking it in and going nice and slow. I'll put a link in the description for these. I don't get paid for that, but just I don't get paid for anything. So but the reason this side is critically important, because we don't want this sleeve to penetrate the radio tray, and I'm going to have a washer on the outside of this too. So that's nice and clean. So now we can mark and conveniently, look at this, conveniently this 3-inch is just barely, oh, it actually bevels out. Yeah, we'll be able to get it in though. Yeah, that's what she said. And there we go. So I'll mark, I'm gonna mark, call it the X location on where this is up and down the stringer, and then I'll mark a Z location down, mark it, and then blast it. And then I'm going to take a measurement on what the sleeve length will be in between the radio tray and the stringer. Hey folks, all right, so we're putting this radio box in, and I started threading the mount fasteners on with lock nuts, and because of the tight space, I'm going to try to use a lock washer with a flat nut. You can hand tighten it really easily until it gets to the lock washer. I don't know if it's gonna backfire, but you know, let me know if that works for you. I'm gonna try it. Otherwise, if it doesn't, if I run it and the radio box, you know, is flopping around, I'm gonna obviously switch, but we'll see. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you've ever dealt with lock washers, if you have a preference. All right, thanks. Now, here's like a chicken or the egg kind of a thing. Do you drill holes in the radio box first for your linkages, or do you secure the servo spot first? And comment below what your opinion is. I think we blast the hole first and then secure it, because then you can line up the linkages and have it perfect. If you secure this the servo first, then you can't necessarily line up the linkage before blasting the hole. So that's what I think. What do you think? Let me know, and we'll go from there. So I think with that, the next thing we're going to do is start blasting some holes. All right? All right, so with the electric version of this boat, the servo controlling the steering was on the outside of the stringer. That's why you can barely see here. That's why this hole is there. But because we're adding a radio box, we're not going to be using that. So we've got to make a new hole, unfortunately. So using my rod, my linkage as a template, I'm simply looking for something that's a line a point on the transom that is parallel to the rudder extension and also parallel with the side-to-side movement of the right there of the linkage, and so that's the point right there. We are going to use that point, and I think I'm gonna have to take off the swim platform because it is definitely in the way. Bummer, I knew that was gonna happen. It's only a matter of time. Here we go. Be right back. All right, so before I go ahead and drill this in, I just want to point out what I'm thinking, because there's going to have to be a kink in the linkage rod to get down to the elevation of this servo horn right here. And so there's two options. You put the kink, you know, out here and then drill the hole lower than this marked spot. So you drill it, you drill it like here instead of here. Or you just have the kink in this real estate right here before the radio tray. The concern I have is, I don't know, with the bend, is it going to be too tricky to get the linkage, install the linkage through the two holes into, you know, because it's going to be this end. No, it's not. It's going to be the other end. So is that going to be tricky? I think I'm going to risk it. I think it's going to look better than having a kink come down from right here, you know, have it and then, you know, bend it down to, you know, out here. So have it bend down here. I think it's going to look better when it's contained and you have a nice straight rod. Plus you have to consider servo movement. So, like swing. I'm not sure what, you know, what's that? I'm not sure what that term is, but will the kink hit either the transom or the radio box? I don't think it will. I think it also depends on how aggressive you make the kink. So we just got to make it work. But I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and like, you know, say, well, Nick, why don't you put this radio tray higher? And I'm trying to match the elevation with this. How much real estate I have, because I only have another, I only have another half an inch. I could have gone up a little bit, but so that's what I'm thinking. I think I'm gonna go with it. The original high point hole right here, right there. Measure a million times, cut once, right? I'm gonna make a mark and an indent. Okay. Oh, I love the smell of fiberglass. All right, so that's the starter hole. All right, so I got a boot size, just lining up the diameter of the next size up with my boot size. Oh. Okay. All right, right, so we've got our hole drilled for the servo linkage. Now we got to find the hole on the radio tray. So what I did, I've got my angle finder, and I've got it's a magnetic bottom. I've got an Allen head, an Allen wrench on the bottom, and I dipped a little bit of marine grease. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the 0 on that, and then just push it right up against it. All right, I might go over a little bit. Okay, and I know it's got to come over just a skosh. That's a technical term. Hey kids. All right, see this thing? Oh, it's on backwards. This is the permanent push nut that goes on the bottom of a, here you go. This black push nut is a permanent installation, and I was having a hard time getting that on. I was squeezing with, you know, needle nose pliers on one side, and it was slipping. I didn't get it on video, but here's what I did. I found a teeny tiny, a very small wrench that fit, that where the protrusion fit over, but it still hit the washer. I put it on a flat surface, put this on the flat surface down here, and I hit the top here with a hammer, and it went right on. So that took me like more than, I don't know, probably took me 15 minutes of monkeying around. So now I gotta just tighten this up, and then we can put that on. All right, installing the fuel bag holder. We're gonna mark the stringer location. I'm gonna have this tilted a little bit up. You know, theoretically, I think that's gonna make putting the burping it a little bit easier, because I'll be able to press down, burp it, and then the air will escape the highest point, which will theoretically be the, you know, the inlet outlet. If you put it lower, there's a chance that, you know, I think it's just gonna be harder to burp. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, let's give you an update. We have we've put the fasteners, well, we've drilled the holes for the servos. I have finished up the arm on the steering, and also for the connecting rod for the throttle. I've gone ahead and drilled the holes for the bag, the fuel bag holder. I need longer fasteners because the ones that came with it are 832. It looks like about 5/8, so I need to go to the store and get some more of those. All right, and I've just gone ahead and I've trimmed the arm extension on the Zip Kit's pipe mount. You can see it's a little rough on there, on that side there in the middle. That's where I cut it. So I put the finished side out. I'm going to measure and secure it like that. And that should hold the pipe nice. And after that, we've got I picked up these pipe clamps on Amazon because my Super Sport, one of them broke, and then I'm actually short on one on this one. So I found these. If you're interested, they're stainless steel. I can send you the link, but it's a 4-pack, and they're like $7. You know, China. So we'll see how good they are. But all right, that's really it for the update. I'm gonna hold off, I think, on putting, I don't know if I can't remember if I told you, but I bought 4-inch Speedmaster tabs. I'm gonna put these on the outside with the 3-inch on the inside. I might wait till the winter to do that. And I've really been spending a lot of time on figuring out how to vent this whole thing. I really want to keep it to the hatch. I might put 2 vents in the back here, like one right over the exhaust and then one over here, just to balance it out. But this is taking a lot of time. I'm trying to do it right, and I've got a template that I'm going to use, so I have consistent. These actually are different sizes, believe it or not. They look very similar, but they're different sizes. I'm not sure I'm set on the slant design. I think I want to keep it somewhat scale, and I don't think that's really scale, although it kind of looks cool. Do one here, do one here. I might just do like one back one or one large. I don't know yet. And I have this template. I have this template here too. So I am gonna also, for the pipe, just to get more cooling on the pipe side, I'm just gonna pop some holes in here. So any thoughts and comments on the venting and how you create a consistent vent hole design, like template? How do you make a jig? I'm all ears. All right. So that's where we are right now. We're on the finishing end. We're almost done. We've got, let's see, let's look at the goodie bag. I am gonna put these mounts here because this is clutchless. I'm gonna put a mount here and I'm gonna put a mount here. This is the one I'm probably losing the most sleep over, just because I don't know if I like it. But if I don't like it, I can always just put a nice finishing fastener through and just tie it off. But I'm gonna need it. So, and then I've got, let's see, a turn fin, and that's really about it. I bought these. I don't think I'm ready for this, man. I don't think I'm ready for this. I'm not going to be able to do a good job of. That's why I don't think I'm going to do those. All right. So more to come. Thanks for tuning in.